everyone, so this is my video from last week. I'm just trying to make up for it, so last Sunday, but I have done a bit of stitching, a little bit. So the teapot is all appliqued down. I couched a piece of wool there just to define the lid a little bit better from the pot. The two teacups are couched down. Oh, little spider. I did the handle. Might want to put another stitch in there. And then I just did extra stitches there with a hand-dyed wool, one that I did in Fleur Woods' class. So it's meant to be like the rattan kind of handle, you know how they wrap the stuff around. And then I've stitched down my tea tin, so the piece of Cantha quilt there. I just love this piece. I got this one from Deb from Doll's House Vintage. I'm pretty sure, Deb, I got that from you. It's such a beautiful piece, and I just thought it was really good the way it has a different colour there, and then that line kind of defines a lid from the base. But I do think I might couch a line across that as well. And I put the little bluebird here because I was thinking of embroidering bluebird tea, and then maybe the grams of how much is in the tea tin or something like that. So that's all I've really got to do to finish off this prompt, is just to finish the tea tin. I'm going to put a picture up of this. I went to my friend's Vicky's place yesterday, and it's quite good. She had a nice big table that I could lay this out on, and I took a full shot of it to see what I think. One thing I was thinking is this pot up here, I need to define the outline better because it's white on white and then pale mint. You can't see it very well, it doesn't stand out, so I'm going to couch a colour around there, like an outline. I have a lot of work to do still, so I got to do a lot of work on the flowers. I'm thinking of what I want to do. I'm going to just drag this down so you can see. Just let me check that you're on screen. Yeah, so I've got a lot of work to do. This flower needs to be fully thread painted. I need to finish the leaf. But I feel like maybe I want to add a few more flowers here because this, just the green fabric in the background, which is supposed to be the wallpaper here and here, is really, really boring. So I need to think about what I'm going to add there. I do have one idea for here, which I talked to Vicky about yesterday, which would work. But I need to just make a decision on that, whether I want to add more flowers. It's just a bit dull. And you can see that definitely needs outlining compared to this side over here, which is just so beautiful, bright and colourful, and especially once I do a lot of embroidery and beading and stuff on these, and with the beautiful feed sacks down the side. So I feel like from here over is good, and then from the other side over, I need to, you'll see it when you see the full picture, there needs to be more work there, more things of interest, more colour. All right, so I'm just going to position this very large. So let's work on this. I think what I'll do, I'm just looking for my pens because I move them. I've got stuff over here. Here's a pen. Don't know if it'll work too well. I might just write jasmine tea. I had a piece of paper where I'd sketched the idea. Oh, just let me see if I can find it. Ah, here it is. Did I show you this last time? I actually really I like that. I can embroider that. Yeah, what I think I might do, I wrote bluebird tea, breakfast tea, number 1, 250 grams. They were the kinds of things I was thinking of putting on. Like, because at the moment it doesn't look like anything. I need to make it seem like it's a tin. Yeah, I might just pop the camera off and just see if I can sketch, see if this works, and sketch a little bit on here, and then all I'll be doing is just embroidering that. So I'm going to sketch it, come back and show you. Okay, so I will be back in a sec. All right, so I've stitched Bluebird Tea. That was actually really tough to stitch through. This Cantha quilt must have lots of layers and it's very, very difficult to get through. So it's not going to be as elaborate as I was thinking or that I had drawn on the paper. But I do want to do a bit more embellishing. Hang on. I'm trying to thread up a milliner's needle to see if that will make a difference with trying to stitch through the Cantha. Because I had looked like a small, like an embroidery needle I think I was using. But an eye that was big enough for me to thread the wool through. And I'm having trouble threading this one, excuse me. And it was just really tough to get it through the Cantha. So what I thought I'd do is pick up on these little lazy daisy flowers here and embroider some of them on the tea tin. Okay, so lazy daisy stitch is something I haven't shown you for a while, and there might be people on here that haven't done it. So you just come up through your fabric, back into the exact same hole or just next to it, like really close though, and then up ahead depending on how big you want your petal, and you just wrap your thread around and then pull it through. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, and then I've got my thread there, and what I need to do is go over the edge of the fabric there, fabric wool there, and that holds it down. So I can go either into the same hole or I usually go just beyond it. Okay, and then, yep, that is a little bit easier to pull through with the milliner's needle, and then you pull it through and you got your first petal. Okay, so I'm going to do 5 petals. I'm going to come up. I'm going to come up just near the center. It doesn't have to be the exact same spot. Decide on your angle of your next petal. So back in through that hole, and I think my next one can come over to here. Pull it through. Okay, and this is a lovely sort of lavender color variegated thread. Lavendery, a bit of blue, little tiny hints of green and pink in this thread. It's this one. It's beautiful, which is the Spun Right Round brand. Here, Spun Right Round. I got quite a few packs of these because you get lots of good colours. And they're small amounts, like you don't need big amounts. I've rolled that one into a ball, so you can see this is the first time I've used this one, so that's the size. But it comes like, sorry about the crinkly, it comes like this. They're perfect for this because we don't need those massive skeins that cost a fortune. Okay, just going to turn you. Get you back on camera. Okay, petal number 3. Trying to keep them a pretty consistent length if I can. Wrap it around. And then what I'll do is in the middle, I'll do a French knot for the center. And then I will also, you can also do lazy daisies for the leaves as well. Just checking that I'm on camera because I am zoomed in to try and make this easier for you to see through this thick fabric. The milliner's has been much better. It's not as tough on my hands. The other one I was starting to think I might have to get my little pliers out to pull it through. it is a lot of layers of fabric because you've got the Cantha quilt, which is always layers of fabric. Then I've got the tablecloth. Then this would actually be behind as well because I covered the whole piece in that. And then the blanket. So we've got a lot of layers that we're getting through. I have to find like a mustard or a yellowy wool to do the lazy days, sorry, the French knot in the middle. It's tough on the hands. Oh, this one's tough. There we go, got it. Okay, so I've got 5 petals. So what I do is I just end off on the back. All right, now I need, actually, do I have, oh yes, I have a yellow near me. Let's just keep you on camera. I'm going to grab the yellow and thread it up. And then I think I'll add in some green leaves. So I have just near me a nice tangled yellow. Hang on, here's the end, yay. It's kind of a mustardy yellow. A little bit more yellow than mustard, but heading towards a mustard. So I had a great day yesterday. So as I said earlier, I had time with our friend Vicky, Stalker Girl Vicky. Hi, Vicky. And we met early in the morning and we went to a secret little op shop. It's one that's Vicky knows about or has discovered a little while ago and was kind enough to take me there. We're going to keep that one a bit of a secret because I don't want people, you know, taking Vicky's spot. But, you know, there's lots of people there. And like Vicky was worried that I may not find anything. Oh, yeah, right. I came out with 2 big bags. Like, and I mean big, not just little shopping bags, but big ones full of stuff. And I got some really random stuff. But the prices were phenomenal. Much cheaper than the sewing basket. In fact, probably a similar price to what the sewing basket used to be, but it has gone up. Understandably, everything's gone up. But this op shop was brilliant, and we found lots of beautiful linens and doilies, and I mean, I was getting tablecloths for, I got one for $1 and it was decent size, like $1. How could they charge $1? I said to Vicky, like they could charge, you know, 4 or 5 times more and people would still be really happy to buy them. So anyway, it's another charity op shop, like, well, op shops for us, thrift stores, they are charity anyway, aren't they? So yeah, we had probably a couple of hours there and then got to sit down and have some lovely scones and a cup of tea, Devonshire tea. I don't drink tea that often, but I don't mind just plain black tea every now and then. And certainly that goes along nicely with scones. So yeah, that was a fun outing, and I'm sure I'll go back there again with Vic. But not only did we find lovely linens and a few embroideries, I saw one lady had got in just before us and she had like a massive handful of embroidered doilies. So we did miss them, but we found stuff. You could rummage through and find stuff. but she definitely got the good ones. But I can't complain with what I got. Also, I don't normally buy this, but I bought a bunch of silverware, like silver coffee pots, like small ones, and little what they would have put their sugar cubes in. And oh my gosh, my sugar cube little jar, which I think would be a great little vase, was $3. I got a really gorgeous silver cake slicer. That was $3 as well. I got another one for like $1. A cheese knife, which was so pretty. So I couldn't believe the prices. They were amazing. So why don't we, just looking at what the leaves do on here. Or maybe I'll just do a lazy daisy leaf. I've got the space, so I may as well add one in. Yeah, so then Vicky and I, on the way, we were going to have a bit of a stitch day at her place and have a lovely, lovely lunch together and sit and stitch and chat. And we went to another op shop, just a normal one, on the way home to her place. And found a few more things. I found a lovely Kath Kidson little bag for, it had no price on, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how much this is going to be. It's Kath Kidson. They'll probably charge me quite a bit. And they only charged me $8, so that was good. It was brand new. It actually had the tags on it still. Maybe someone was gifted it and it wasn't their style. You know those the little tote bags that she makes with, you know how they're like coated, the fabric's coated in like a bit of a plastic, like a PVC? Yeah, that kind of thing. So just a little one, but it's so cute. Vic's like, what are you going to do with this? Take it to school? And I'm like, no, but actually I'm thinking you could take your lunch in it. It's so cute. So it would actually be a good bag for lunch. There we go. A couple of little leaves in there. So what I'm thinking I'll do here is I might, from my drawing over here, that could be the flower. I've already got a couple of leaves in there. I think I might stitch down here, maybe in the green, and then do another flower here. Maybe I'll do one across there as well. I could do one there. I could do one in each corner. We'll see. Across here, I was going to couch, but then I was thinking, like I did the little dots here, maybe I'll do French knots, and I could do little stripes like the lid is striped. I did the bluebird in a bright colour because I wanted it to stand out against the background. And that really bright pink with a bit of orange in it stands out well. I might stitch the little decorative, like not exactly that, but something like that, like I did it in a bit of a wave on purpose. And then under here. So yeah, I'll keep playing with this one. I am on screen, good. Okay, so sorry, I just paused so I could zoom you out. So if you've watched Rachel's video, she's already revealed the prompt. And the reason we went for choosing your own thing is because people have already done so many different ideas and added in different things. I've seen plates, I've seen pictures on the wall, I've seen ceramic cats. Pam loved yours, and I saw another one as well. I've seen, what have I seen? Other bowls of things, ceramic things, etc. So look, some people have really filled up their space and they don't have much space left, but maybe they have a bit of space on their wall, or some people still have a large space that they could fill. So we decided to leave this one flexible. The other thing is, I know people have been hoping for certain prompts to come up. So I know people have wanted to do a piece of cake or a cupcake or something like that. So by leaving this one open, you're able to pick for yourself what you think your piece needs. And you might be inspired by a particular painting and what you see in that painting and what you'd like to add from that painting or from a particular artist. So one thing that I really like, I think I've spoken about the fact that I love chinoiserie, and this whole piece has a chinoiserie feel. So in a lot of still life chinoiserie paintings, and also in a vignette, you know, when someone's decorated in chinoiserie style, I often see cheetahs, so ceramic cheetahs. So I want to put a ceramic cheetah on my table. So I've got this space here. So what I did is I went to Pinterest, of course, to get my ideas, and I saw a painting, well, lots of paintings with cheetahs with bow ties, with blue bows, with pink bows, etc. So this is my idea. This is going to be my ceramic cheetah. So I drew it on paper so that I can play around with size to see if I want it bigger or smaller. I think this size will be okay. This is just my sketch. I have to decide. I think I might want him to fill a little bit of my space on my table, because higher up where there's a gap, I have an idea for that. So this will be my cheetah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this image, this is just my sketch to get my idea, but I'm going to put that onto calico or linen, and I have to decide whether I just want to embroider it, because I could. Take me a long time. It would look good if you did that though. Or do I want to do it out of fabric, where I do lots of fabric and then a bit of embroidery? I'm actually at the moment leaning towards the embroidery. So what I would do is I'd draw that image onto the fabric, and with this one, because it's going to be so heavily embroidered, I'll put it into a hoop. I just have to see if I've got a hoop big enough, because I'd want the hoop to go around the whole thing, like a round one or a rectangular. I've got a rectangular one. And then I think, because I'm using so many wools, I think it'd be quite nice embroidered in wool. And then all the little black dots of the cheetah could be little French knots. So the bigger ones I could wrap more times, and the little tiny ones I might just wrap once or have less strands. If I was using stranded cotton, wool I can't separate. I don't have black wool, but I do have some other fibers. Like I might embroider his body in wool and then add the spots later in a different thread, because you can do that. So that's my idea. It's a bit crazy, I know. I'm going to have a cheetah on my table. You know, you could have cutlery, knife and fork. You might find that once you've done it, you've got another gap and you need to fill not just one, but you could put something else. I really like the still lifes that are super busy and the table's just loaded. So that's going to be it for my video tonight. I'll finish my tea caddy over time and come back to that and show you. I will outline my pot. I have lots of embroidery to do. I have so much to do. So I'm just going to give you finally, before I go, just going to give you an idea of how we're ending this. So we've got 3 weeks on this prompt, as we've had with the other ones. We're then giving you 4 weeks. Okay, so 4 weeks to embellish, to keep stitching your flowers, to add more if you want to, etc. So in that 4 weeks, I know I'll definitely have some work to do. And that will be the time when I'll probably decide what I'm doing with my big blank wall space. And then we've got one final week where hopefully you've had time, I've had time, Rachel's had time, we've all had time to finish off our piece. And in that last week, we're going to show you how to put it onto canvas. Yeah. Even if I'm not finished, high chance I won't be, we can still show you how to do it. That's fine. We'll show you the theory of how to do it. So then you need to find a place to put it. I know I've got a very big blank white wall that this will go onto. So I want to keep going, because I really do want this to be something that's fun, and it's on my wall and it's like an artwork, textile art. Anyway, so have fun with this last prompt. We will be looking forward to seeing what everyone comes up with. So you got a bit of free reign on this one. Always like to give you some choice. And I will see you next week. Like if I do get a bit of stitching done during the week, I could pop back on and give a little update, but who knows? I'm not going to promise anything because I probably won't deliver. I'm back at work tomorrow. So I was planning on doing a lot more than what I've done in the holidays, but I've done some other things. I've actually been doing a bit of painting because I'm teaching it at school, watercolor. So I've been doing a bit of painting. Do you want to see what I'm doing? I'm going to grab it. Just wait there. So just so you know, I'm a beginner. This is watercolor and I'm a beginner. But that's what I've been doing. So I'll explain my project. So I teach boys, and I was telling Vicky about this yesterday. So Vicky, you can see this is not finished. I still have some detail to add. But what the boys had to do, they're online, you can get surveys, little quizzes, just fun stuff, where they use the Myers-Briggs personality test, and you get asked these questions that are based on that test, but it identifies you as an animal. And so I picked, I think, 5 different animal tests and then another one that was a mythical creature test. And so they ended up with 6 different things. And of the 6, they had to pick 4. So I've got a bit of touching up to do. It's a bit of a mess there. I've got to finish this. I do still have work to do on it. And they had to pick 4 and they had to combine them into one mythical beast. It's very boy orientated, this one. So for me, I ended up with a dragon, was my mythical creature, a lion. So I've got lion's tail and the front hands are meant to be lion's claws. I had a zebra. So that's kind of the stripes there, and then the tail, which looks like a tiger actually, not a zebra. It's kind of a lion's tail. It's a bit of a cross. And then I had a horse, and their horse legs at the back here. So they were my 4 that I combined, and the boys have combined them, and they've made some really cool creatures. And what we did is we put our prompts of what we wanted. So I might have gone dragon's head, lion's mane, zebra stripes, horse legs, that kind of thing, dragon wings, into Adobe Firefly, which you can use to generate AI art. So we had fun doing that. We had a lesson or 2 where we played around with creating different beasts, and you'd say, like, you'd put your prompts in, you'd go, I want him in a forest, or want my creature in a forest. I want fire, so I've got some fire on the ground. I want it to be underwater. You can change the technique, so you could make it look like a watercolor. So we did that, and the boys created an AI artwork. And then using that AI artwork, they have sketched, so there's a lot of pencil lines in here because it's sketched. They've sketched their beast, their creature, onto thing, and now they're watercolor painting. So because I'm having to teach watercolor and I'm not experienced with it, I've only dabbled in it a tiny bit. I've done my own sample. So we started with backgrounds. We practiced getting different watercolors and blending and wetting the paper. We had a lesson on how to use watercolors first. Thanks to my friend Sue-Ann, who helped give me the ideas of what to do. And then the next thing there, some of the boys are starting on, is painting their beasts. So, yep, my sample, I've got just a little bit more to do, but by the time I have my first lesson, he'll be finished. And then we move this into, we're going to do some clay carvings. What's the name for them? Anyway, we're carving our beasts out of clay. So, yeah, we kind of will end up with 4 artworks, I think, out of this one sort of concept. And it's meant to represent themselves. So there's different things about their beasts that represent themselves. And then these will go on display, and their parents get to come to like a little art show where they get to see them. So lots of fun. But I'm like super happy with how this came out. It's fun playing with watercolor painting. And I said to Vic, my stitching is set on the side. I've been doing a bit more painting. Yeah, anyway, just getting sidetracked there, but I thought you'd like to see what I've been up to. Anyway, thank you for watching this week. Let's go back to stitching, and I will see you again soon with a bit more of what's going on. Okay, bye for now. So this is a wider shot of my piece that I referred to earlier that I was able to take at my friend Vicky's house on her big table. I'm really loving all the really bright colours. This photo is actually a little bit more true to the colours that I'm using in my piece. It's very bright. And as you can see, there's that gap there on the table in the middle where the cheetah will go. And then I've got that, you can see I do need to outline my vase with my two ladies on it because it doesn't really stand out very much. Vicky also raised a good point that I have that lovely blue on my plate where my oranges are, but I need to bring that in somewhere else as well. So it's always good to get someone else's opinion. You know, you look at your piece so much, it's good to get someone else to tell you what they think you could do. And then I probably am going to add more flowers into that second vase. I was thinking a single flower to begin with, but now looking at it like this zoomed out, I can see that I probably need some more because the other one is so abundant with flowers. And then I will have some space on my wall where I have an idea of what I want to add there. Well, as I said before, 2 ideas. I just have to decide which one I'm going to do. So maybe even take a picture of your own piece and look at it like this. I actually got up on a chair to take this under the good suggestion of Vic so I could pan out and get a good photo. Just stepping back and having a look at it and see what you need to add, change, adjust, etc. It's really helpful. As we're nearing the end, you'll see where you got gaps and if you think you need to add anything else to your table or your wall. Okay, so thank you for watching this week, and I will see you again soon for my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.